they were sent. That was not the sentence that they were given. It just wasn't. And someone has to be responsible. Quite frankly, it's the individual and it is the city. Accountable. And we're asking people time and time again to be re-traumatized. And I can't imagine the difficulty for anyone to be doing that. But I will say, just as a male, I know in our society what it is for a young man to step up and say this happened. Like 500 people, men and women, that's a lot of people who are carrying harm. And the number is only growing. What we are doing in these systems that are supposed to be about corrections is not working. It's creating more harm. You cannot deny responsibility and try to pass it off. It's reprehensible. What happened, I don't know if that's worse than the reprehensible response that the city and government are giving time and time again. Step up. Show some leadership. Show some compassion. Show that you want to stop this from happening ever again, particularly if you actually care about public safety and not the sound bites that you put out to try to get reelected. Please, there's a lot of harm going here, and we need to stop it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Public Advocate, for your energy, passion, and compassion. In addition to elected officials that are supporting survivors and fighting for justice, there are not-for-profits in New York City that really focus on these issues to not only support survivors, but to try to prevent sexual violence. And I'd like to introduce at this time Emily Miles.
Hello, my name is Emily Miles. I'm the Executive Director of the New York City Alliance Against Sexual Assault. At the Alliance, we work to prevent sexual violence and reduce the harm it causes through education, prevention programming, and policy and systems change. The Alliance is honored to join this group of powerful advocates and survivors here today to bring attention to this critical law and the look-back window that will be closing on February 28th. The trauma of sexual abuse, especially when it occurs at a young age, takes years to process before many are able to begin to contemplate the idea of reporting the harm that was done to them. Shame, social stigma, complex dynamics of power and control, and fear of retaliation all play roles in a survivor's decision to report sexual violence. For those who face the compounded trauma of abuse while incarcerated, the process of reporting can take even longer, especially as many lack the mechanisms for reporting available to the general public. At its core, the GMVA presents more than just a set of legal provisions. It stands as a lifeline for survivors of sexual violence, a profound acknowledgement that justice must be accessible and their voices must be heard. For too long, survivors of sexual violence have faced barriers that silence them and deny accountability for those responsible. The GMVA tears down those barriers. It allows survivors to regain a sense of agency, knowing that their stories matter and that recourse is available, even in cases where criminal